Captain America: Brave New World is released, but why do people hate Anthony Mackie as Captain America while loving Tom Holland as Spider-Man? Even though Tom Holland joined the MCU after Anthony Mackie, before we uncover the truth, hit like to start. Anthony Mackie was introduced to the MCU in 2014's Captain America: The Winter Soldier. In the film, Sam Wilson is a former U.S. Air Force pararescue soldier specializing in a mechanical wingsuit. He becomes Steve Rogers' close ally and plays a crucial role in the fight against Hydra. However, he was portrayed as a supporting character, much like Black Widow, and didn't make a major impact. On the other hand, Tom Holland made his MCU debut in Captain America: Civil War with just a cameo, yet his introduction was celebrated by fans. Marvel gave him a proper superhero entrance. He arrived by stealing Captain America's shield, instantly shocking both the audience and even Cap himself. His fight sequence was one of the film's highlights. People were amazed when Spider-Man stopped Bucky's punch with ease, despite the fact that Captain America had previously stopped a helicopter with one hand but struggled against Bucky. Not only that, but Spider-Man also managed to take down Falcon, further cementing his strength. This introduction left a lasting impression on fans, making Tom Holland's Spider-Man an instant favorite. In contrast, Sam Wilson didn't receive a similar grand entrance and was instead portrayed as a secondary character, which affected how audiences perceived him in the long run. Another major issue is how the MCU handled the character arcs of Spider-Man and Sam Wilson. With Spider-Man, Marvel built his journey in a way that resonated deeply with audiences. His dream of becoming an Avenger was clear, but he never wanted to be the next Tony Stark, however, saw him as Tony's natural successor due to their mentor-student relationship. This conflict was perfectly explored in Spider-Man: Far From Home, where Peter struggled with the weight of Tony's legacy. Instead of embracing the role of the next Iron Man, he rejected it by giving Tony's glasses to Mysterio, a mistake that ultimately taught him an important lesson. This kind of internal struggle and emotional depth made Spider-Man's journey compelling and gave audiences a reason to root for him. On the other hand, Sam Wilson's journey was never given that same level of emotional weight throughout the MCU. He was always a supporting character, never really stepping into the spotlight. He played a key role in Captain America: The Winter Soldier and Civil War, but his character development remained secondary. Then, in Avengers: Endgame, Steve Rogers suddenly passed the shield to Sam, making him the next Captain America. While this moment was meant to be powerful, it felt rushed because Sam had never been positioned as a central figure in the franchise. Unlike Spider-Man, who had multiple movies to establish his struggles and triumphs, Sam was given the title of Captain America without a build-up that allowed audiences to connect with him on that level. This sudden transition left many fans feeling disconnected. They still saw Sam as a side character, rather than a hero who had earned the role of Captain America. A more natural progression would have been Sam initially rejecting the mantle, recognizing that he needed to grow into it rather than simply inheriting it. That kind of arc could have allowed his character to develop more organically, making his eventual acceptance of the role feel earned rather than forced. The poor writing and rushed decision to make Sam the next Captain America without giving audiences enough time to connect with him hurt Anthony Mackie's reception in the role. Spider-Man has gone through multiple reboots since the early 2000s, making audiences more accepting of changes in the character. Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man defined a generation, but when Andrew Garfield took over, fans eventually adjusted. Then, when Tom Holland stepped in as the MCU's version, people embraced him even more because he was integrated into a larger universe. Each reboot brought a fresh take, and over time, audiences became used to the idea that different actors could play Spider-Man. However, Captain America was a different case. Chris Evans played Steve Rogers from Captain America: The First Avenger in 2011 all the way to Avengers: Endgame in 2019. His portrayal was so iconic that fans formed a deep emotional connection with him. He wasn't just playing a superhero, he embodied the character for nearly a decade, making it difficult for audiences to accept anyone else in the role. That's why Anthony Mackie stepping in as the new Captain America wasn't as easy for fans to accept. Unlike Spider-Man, who had already gone through multiple actors and reboots, Captain America had only been played by Chris Evans. His journey had been consistent, and audiences had watched him grow into a symbol of hope and leadership. Replacing him so suddenly, without the same kind of build-up that Spider-Man reboots had, made the transition feel forced rather than natural. Tom Holland's Spider-Man didn't have this issue. He was introduced in Captain America: Civil War in a way that immediately won audiences over. His youthful energy, humor, and connection to the Avengers made him easy to accept. Since people were already used to seeing different versions of Spider-Man, they embraced Holland without hesitation. But with Captain America: There was no precedent for a major recasting or legacy handoff. That's why replacing Chris Evans was so much harder for fans to accept, while Spider-Man's constant reboots made it a smoother transition for Tom Holland. Another major reason why Tom Holland's Spider-Man became more beloved than Anthony Mackie's Falcon is mentorship. Steve Rogers never really mentored Sam Wilson the way Tony Stark mentored Peter Parker. Instead, Sam was always treated more like a reliable sidekick rather than a true successor. Throughout the Captain America movies, Sam Wilson was always by Steve's side, but never in a way that developed his character beyond being a supportive ally. Steve trusted him, but he never truly guided him toward becoming the next Captain America. He always used Falcon as his left hand rather than preparing him for a leadership role. Even in Avengers Endgame, the moment when Steve passed the shield to Sam felt sudden rather than earned through years of mentorship. On the other hand, Tony Stark played a direct role in Spider-Man's growth. From the moment he recruited Peter Parker in Civil War, he actively shaped him into a better hero. He built Spider-Man's advanced suits, watched over him, and even put a tracker in his suit during Homecoming to ensure his safety. Tony didn't treat Peter as just another sidekick. He invested in his development. He wanted Peter to be better, not just to fight alongside him but to eventually stand on his own. This is where character writing plays a huge role. Tony Stark's mentorship made Spider-Man's journey feel meaningful, creating an emotional bond between the audience and Tom Holland's version of the character. People saw Peter struggle, learn, and grow, all while being guided by a mentor who truly cared. Sam Wilson, however, was never given that same treatment. His transition to Captain America felt inept because Steve never actively trained him for it. He was just handed the shield, and the audience was expected to accept it. This lack of build-up made it harder for fans to embrace Anthony Mackie's Captain America. Obviously, it's too early to compare Anthony Mackie's Captain America to Tom Holland's Spider-Man because Mackie hasn't even had a solo movie yet. Captain America: Brave New World will be the first real test to see how Marvel handles the new Captain America. Unfortunately, the film has faced multiple reshoots and production issues, creating doubts about its quality. A strong character arc is the only thing that can save this movie. However, recent trailers and promos have focused more on Red Hulk rather than Anthony Mackie himself. This makes it feel like Marvel is trying to hook the audience with Red Hulk instead of fully embracing Mackie as Captain America. Despite these concerns, I really hope this movie turns out well for Anthony Mackie. His excitement and behind-the-scenes footage shows that playing Captain America is a dream come true for him. Hopefully, Brave New World gives him the strong character development he deserves. What do you think? Why do people dislike Anthony Mackie's Captain America? Comment your thoughts below.